Hello everyone. Today I've come to answer some question that someone dropped on my Facebook page. Someone that does not understand African spirituality. So I'm going to break down some of his questions on this video. And this video might have part 1, part 2, maybe even part 3. And I also want to inform you guys that from now onwards, I'm going to be promoting my spiritual service on my video when I'm teaching. I'm going to talk about my services, and sometimes I'm going to create a short video explaining the services that I have on my website. I have to make use of social media properly instead of wasting it in case they ban it very soon in our country. So anyway, I just want to let you guys know that I offer spiritual services. If you're interested in spiritual consultation, tarot card reading, Ifa and Afa consultation, divination reading, different types of divination, I offer it. I also offer spiritual work, spare work, and private mentorship classes for people that want to learn basic principle of African spirituality, and also people that are called, chosen by the gods to be a priest or a priestess, priesthood. Not only do I offer the classes, I also teach you some things, practical ones. Okay, so if you want to find out more information about this, go to my website, and then you see the services there in the categories, everything. And my website address is www.TheAfricanOracle.com. I'm going to write my website address on this video as well. Okay, so this is going to be part 1. So I'll go through all the messages that the guy looks like someone that is upset, but because he lacks knowledge and he says he wants to learn, that's why I'm going to teach. I'm going to answer all his questions that he has written. Okay, his name is Matoban. Yeah, so I'm going to answer your question that you sent on the Facebook. He says the reason why he doesn't like African spirituality or ancestral worship is because they always demand blood sacrifice. So I just want to tell you that people can practice African spirituality without offering blood sacrifice. You can use basic things, food that you eat, to offer to your spirit, to offer to spirit. But your spirits are not going to be as energized compared to when you give them animal sacrifices. And it's not something that you do all the time. I don't know where you're getting that information. Okay? Most sacrifice that people do in African spirituality, they don't even unalive the animal. I'm sure you don't even know about that. Animals that have been caged, that people are enslaving, keeping in captivity. When they actually use them to do sacrifice, they release the animal in the nature. Okay, so actually they gain freedom when they've used them to do sacrifices. So don't just think that every animal that they use for sacrifice that they unalive the animal. No, majority they don't. Only few that they use to energize the spirit. Okay, and no, you said blood is their food. No, blood is not the food of spirit. It's not food to them. It is something that is used to energize them. To just like when someone is lacking blood, you go to hospital and they give you blood transfusion. But it's not food. Our spirits, what they eat is those basic things that you, libation drinks, it's taste, food that you cook. Fruit is food. As for those blood, is actually to energize the spirit. Yeah. So in case you don't know. And you people that are always sensitive about animal sacrifices, you're eating, don't you eat meats? Don't you eat fish? Don't you eat all these animals? As long as you're eating animal, you're committing the same sin to this person, just like the person who is giving animal sacrifice. And that one is even worse because the way they unalive the animal that you're eating is more painful. It brings traumas to the animal. But when they are using them for sacrifices, there are some rituals that they do to the animals that, that they don't even, have the same negative effects and pains the spirit of the animal is being called. I don't know how to explain it to you in this video, but I just want to know that the rituals are performed so that the spirit of the animal is going to be in a good place. And even some animals that they use for sacrifices, you will consult the spirit, ask them, tell them what they are going, what the purpose. So they are actually doing spiritual work, saving life. Okay? Compared to the one that people are just unaliving them for food. So as long as you're eating animal, you're committing the same sin compared to the just like the person who is giving animal sacrifices. Just so you know, even when you eat plants, fruits, because they are all living things, you're still unaliving them. Because if people don't think about that, when you just see someone doing animal sacrifice, you get irritated. And you forget that you're eating meat. And that meat you're eating was unalive by someone, and you're partaking by eating it. It means that you're also part of the sin. Okay? Yeah, so if you don't want to commit any sin by eating animal, then you don't eat animal. Don't eat plants. And anything, any living thing, don't eat fish. You have to obviously go and feed yourself through the sun. Then you're not unaliving anybody, any living thing. Yeah. Okay, another question that you asked here is that they claim Egypt was the first civilized country, but there has not been any innovation coming from that end. It's only China, US, and some other countries, and not African countries. You can see that you actually lack knowledge. If you didn't lack knowledge, you will realize that the modern Egyptians are not the real Egyptians. You will realize that the modern Egyptians are Arabs that invaded the country, unalive majority of the native Egyptians, the Asian Egyptians. And the ones that were alive, some of them flee to different African countries, different countries. So when the indigenous people are not in that country, what do you expect? The people that have the gift, they have the grace to do the things that they used to do before, are no longer in the country. And they have moved to other countries. And the ones that really knows how to use African spirituality to create things, they have unalived many of them. They didn't have the opportunity to transfer the knowledge to their children. Only few that moved to other African countries that taught their children and grandchildren about their spirituality. Okay? Yeah. And everyone don't have the same gift. So you cannot ask someone who has another gift, like a healer, a doctor, to become an engineer. So no, everyone have different gifts also. So you don't expect that because the person is a spiritual person that the person have to create some things that other professions have to do. Okay? Yeah. So now you know that the modern Egyptians are not the real Egyptians. They are Arabs that invaded the country, unalive people that owns the country and took over. So obviously they don't have what the real Egyptian used to have. So nothing will come out from there completely. Yeah. And also you said people from other countries are the ones that are creating things. Like China. Chinans are very good in creating things. Of course, they work hard for it. Okay, US, they are creating things too. But most of the things they are creating, they are getting it from other countries. Do you know the history of America? If you know the history of America, you'll know that they have been taking things by force from other countries, stealing. Just like evil witches and wizards that will go and steal people's glory. And go and read the history of America. And also read the history of things that was created in America. And you realize that a lot of African America created a lot of things that you're using today. You're not reading your history properly. Okay? So I'm going to go to part 2 in another video to answer the remaining questions that you have. Okay? Watch out for part 2.